Hello and welcome back to the Whole Journey podcast. Today we're back and we have a special guest with us today. I'm going to let her do her own intro. Keita, I think I'm glad to be out the hot seat today. Those last two.
I am too.
Those last two episodes had us in the hot seat.
Get folks out of our business.
Yes. Yeah. And so,
put them in mine.
Yeah. Y'all are in the hot seat today.
Yeah, both of us.
And we're going to be talking about all things dating. And we already know that this is going to require a part 2. So don't be alarmed. We're not going to cut you short. We're going to come back with a part 2 on it. But I'm excited. So guess, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
This guest? Or
Yes. You guess.
Yes. I am. I'm Ashley Wilson. I am I don't know if I want to say I'm a serial entrepreneur or not.
Hey, say
but I am a 38-year-old divorcee mom of one, and own a couple of businesses. That's all I got. I don't really have a whole. I think I'm a little shy today. And I'm normally not shy.
You are not shy.
I think I'm a little shy today.
Okay. So we're gonna jump right in. I'll come in with the first question. So you said that you are a divorcee. How long have you been divorced?
I literally just had to count that up. Like 2 days ago. It's almost 4 years.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
So how did you? Well, before I say this, are you actively dating?
What you call dating?
Ooh, that's a loaded question here.
I think it's kind of different now. I would say dating is like going out, having fun. Maybe not exclusive with anybody yet, but
seeing
maybe
people.
you have like an online accounts where you are actively
online dating.
Yeah, you doing some online dating.
And a young man told me not to say this, but I feel like I'm entertaining. I am entertaining the thought of dating.
Okay.
Occasionally I'll entertain outside of my phone.
Okay. Go on an
actual date.
Okay.
Other times I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you know when you were ready to start dating again or entertaining after your divorce?
I had to do a little bit of work on myself actually because there were some things in my marriage that kind of caused a little trauma, a little pain, and I wanted to not take any of those things, those hurts and habits and hang-ups over into anything else. So we often talk about the healing process, but it is definitely necessary because it could be something simple as not trusting. And if you have a not trusting heart, then the next person that comes along, you'll take those insecurities over into that. So I had to first get to a point where I was able to trust what a person said again. Because there were certain things in my marriage that I believed and, that were, I never questioned. And so, therefore, when you start meeting people and they start telling you things and you start listening to them and you're like, whatever.
I heard this before.
Absolutely. And so, now don't get me wrong, my marriage wasn't bad, but there were some things that, I felt like we could have done differently. And so now, once I was able to get to a point where I was more expressive, and the things that I did and did not want, and also got past that healing process, then I felt like I could entertain. I remember a guy inboxing me and was like, I was trying to get with you. And I was like, I couldn't be nothing for myself. So I knew I couldn't be nothing for you. And so I think at that time he had moved on, which was fine by me. Don't let me be your hang up. But I think people really do need to have that pausing point. I've never been single. I've always been in a relationship. And for me, it was because I got out of one thing. I started entertaining a little too much. I got into another thing. And then here we are at the age of 38. And I've only been in like 4 real relationships and they've been long term.
Yeah.
So at 38, it's like, okay.
Learning how to be single.
I don't even know how to do that. Like, how do you date? And then when you're used to something and then this new age dating is real different for me. It's like, hold up. let me pause and pay attention. And sometimes people don't want to be in the waiting room. They want to, you be in the doctor's office and they got you waiting for a long time, and now you want to just go on to the back. It can't. I have to sit and analyze things. So for me, I had to get past I had to really heal before I could entertain anybody else.
That's good. I think our viewers are used to hearing us talk about having to heal and what that looks like, because we talk about it so much here.
What did the time look like for you, that healing phase? If you could, what was it?
Honestly, about 2 years.
Okay.
For me, when I was able to say I was divorced, I felt like that was a hurdle for me. I could not utter the words divorced, and I could not say ex-husband. And people might be like, that ain't nothing. It was something for me because I was embarrassed. And honestly, if you did not know that I was divorced, you did not know that I was divorced. I didn't put it on social media. That was another thing that I'm a private, public person.
Yeah.
People feel like I show everything. But it's definitely surface level. And so at the point where I could get to being able to say that I'm divorced and I have an ex-husband was when I felt like I was ready. I also have a daughter. And when I met my ex, she was 3. And outside of her father, it was really her biological father was the only other man she knew. And so while I went through a divorce, she went through one as well. And so I had to be careful in bringing people, which still, to this day, she's 18 now. I'm still not bringing people into her life like that, because she doesn't necessarily need a dad. I just need a husband.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like I don't want to bring anybody into her life so that she could be attached like she was beforehand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of that.
Okay, that's something. That's actually.
I'm actually glad you put a time on it, because I hear people like, well, I've been single a month now, but that's that serial dating.
Yeah.
Where you just used to being coupled up and you haven't really done a lot of work in 30 days.
Now, did I have some lonely moments? Had some, because when you're used to being with someone, I remember moving, and it was like I stayed at my house until I was just like, okay, you got to force yourself to go here. And so if you are a person who has to have somebody, it may be a little difficult for you. But one of the things I will say, I had a great support team. My village is amazing. My mother, and my mother was not one of the ones who was like, you need to leave, you need to do it. She wasn't that person, but she still was there to give me whatever advice or shoulder that I needed. Even with talking to some of my friends, it would be like certain days, it would be like, okay, I'm having a hard time. And so they would kind of help get, whether I wanted to talk about the same thing every day, they listened. And so once you get to a point where you have people that are not talking behind you, but holding you up through the process, you really need that. And that, I'm gonna add something to that. Us as women or people want to talk about when people are going through different things in their lives instead of trying to help them find a solution, which is where I feel like a little bit of my passion is I didn't want to be an old bitter woman, an old bitter Black woman. So my thing was to take some of the things that my sisters that were around me said, some of them married, some of them not, and be able to navigate. But I also had conversations with males. And in my thinking, my thought processes were not wrong. They had to explain some things for me to be able to get it. And so you don't want to be in a situation of where you're this angry, bitter Black woman. So what I took myself into doing was having conversations with people I felt like was heading in that direction. You want a man, but you are like gung-ho on being this And that's not what it's all about. Now, there are some men that'll meet you where you are and help carry you through the healing process, but you can't be that angry person, which is kind of hard sometimes, but you just can't be that. So.
Yeah. I think it's difficult for women especially when we experience hurt. Because sometimes men have a way of just like, they just let it roll off their shoulder. And for us, we feel things on a different level. So I think it's kind of hard for women to navigate and to have that mindset of like, I'm not going to. Because bitter is a loaded word, too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It definitely is.
I think that society and culture has made it a word that's like only for women. But I've seen bitter males.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, I'm going to leave that where that's at.
Well, you said something about it not only being men. I've had men. We're not the only people that they don't just let it roll off of their back. They become bitter. And then I know some men who like, I ain't getting in no relationship. My dad and my mom have not been married for forever. And my dad said he don't want another woman. Not that their relationship was bad. It's just, they just separate. They were high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
And he said he don't want another woman. He want her. And I'm like, Daddy, get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
He was like, she was a good woman. And I was like, I get it, but just get over it. But there are a lot of men that I know that have said, like, she did this and I just can't get over it. Now, their hurt is way different.
Oh, we talk about that all the time.
Their hurt is different, but they do get hurt. And that's one of the things, like, I go to the barbershop. I love having conversations in the barbershop because men, they are really transparent in there amongst them. And if you are a woman where they can feel that they can be open with and vulnerable with, they will talk.
Yeah.
And I've had some talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have some hurts that us women, honey.
They get hurt different.
Yeah, they do get hurt different.
Yeah. And it's...
I think
And
that,
you don't even realize, like, dang, that hurt you?
We
But it's just
talk
like- yeah,
about
we
that
talked
all the
about that,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, like...
I think they emote differently. What you see externally is
yeah.
different.
And
And they try to say they're not emotional.
Oh.
They're just not emotional like us.
Let me tell you, when I have heard that, and I tell my husband all the time, anger is an emotion.
It is.
Oh, for sure.
So when they say that, I'm not emotional. Y'all so emotional. Y'all so emotional, but you so mad.
Yeah.
So that's an emotion.
That's an emotion, yes.
So yeah, they be emotional too. So I'ma jump to this question.
Is this normally the hot seat? This seat right here?
No.
Oh, okay. I just need to know if I get invited back, not to sit in this seat.
Well, yeah. Normally in the middle.
Oh, okay.
How has your approach to relationships changed compared to before your marriage?
I think before my marriage, I allowed a man to put me in a relationship. I allowed him to dictate and control how things went. I also wasn't vocal about my likes and dislikes for the sake of keeping the peace in things or not running them away or that type of thing. Now it's like, I'm not mean about it, but I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. No, this is how I feel. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm a talker. I'm a communicator. And I feel like if you cannot effectively communicate and not communicate the way I necessarily want to, because if you don't want to talk about it right then, we can talk about it later. But my approach to things is not allowing somebody to rush me into something because they are ready. Not allowing a person to make me feel like if I don't do this right here, right now, then you going to leave. If that's the case, then hey, hopefully I don't miss out on it. But if it's meant for me to have it, God going to keep it there or bring it back to me. And so I have been navigating this thing slow and cautiously because there are some desires that I want, and I don't want the representative to give me those desires and then the real person come out later on. And so I'm just kind of, not allowing myself to be put into something that I don't want to be put into.
That's good.
Yeah, so.
We actually... I just got told down on Wednesday about this at church. But yeah, just being that people pleaser. not wanting your no to be like, well, if I say no,
I may lose
then
him.
I may lose him. But then we've also talked about that, Keita, where it's like, if you can't let it go, then it's an idol. So being able to say, you know what, no, that's not what I want. Being assertive and not trying to sugarcoat it to make it sound good. But yeah, being assertive and being confident that, okay, no, I don't want this. This is not how I want it to be. And if I lose you or if this ends, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because what God has for me will be for me.
Yeah.
And this is just what we talk about. This is on my journey. This is preparation for whoever's supposed to come next into my life.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, we just literally talked about
And
that.
you know, the thing about it is a lot of time people make it seem as though women want to rush into romance. But a lot of times when a man, and I know it don't take them long to figure out what it is and who it is that they want when they have found the one. But a lot of times males
But do we know that?
Do we know what?
What you just said. You said we know that it doesn't, because I don't think, so we have a mixed viewership.
Okay.
And so you just said something. You said we know that it don't take them long to know when they want somebody. But I have, had friends. I've seen people. It's like, what does he want? So you believe that a man knows?
Well, when I say we know, it has been said that it doesn't take a man long to know when he wants. Now, how long he takes to get it done is a different story. But I feel like a man knows the day that he meets you if you just gonna be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or this is longevity, or long term. Because nobody is going, because you just think about it. They'll start moving a certain way. They'll start making investments in a thing. If you're not that person, then you may be a late night creep. You may be just come over, let's watch movies and watch it. When they want to take you out, show you off, do all of those things, they may not be, some of them may not be in a situation because of the way they feel like we deserve. They might not be in that particular situation to give you exactly what it is that they want to give you at that moment. So they may be working towards that. Yeah. But I do feel like a man knows what it is that he is wanting.
Too. And I think he is constantly affirming where you stand with him by if he actually take you out on a date, if you are being hidden, if he is taking you to the family get together, if you know the friends, if you know the bros, like are you just a party girl, or like when he
how much he
kick
shares with you.
Exactly. If he's vulnerable, if he talks to you about his long-term plans,
Absolutely.
or if it's just, hey, this is what we're doing this weekend. I think that's why I talk a lot about be careful what you say yes to.
Right.
Because he is constantly trying to figure you out and exactly where you stand. So you do need to have firm boundaries about what you will and will not do, because it may be small things that disqualify you.
Absolutely.
And now you've been recategorized.
Absolutely. Because I had a conversation about, I put this actually on my post, we ignore the red flags because we want certain things. And in that, it could be to me, if a man doesn't have a plan, that's a red flag to me. If you can, and I'm not saying you got to be the person to plan out all of the dates and the trips and all of that, but what is your plan for your life? If you don't have any life goals, not for me to come in and help you with, but for you to have, if it's wrote out, you in the processes of making a thing happen, and you may just need a little nudge here. What are your lifetime goals? Are you expecting me to come in? Now, I'm going to be a helpmeet. I'm coming to help you.
Yeah.
I'm not coming in to
Teach you.
take it on. So my thing is this a situation where I'm going to have to carry the relationship, or is this a situation that we're going to come in and we're going to work this thing together? So even in trying to pick these things and finding these men, let's make sure, men and women, because I'm an advocate for the brothers too, let's not ignore the red flags and not let a cute face and all of those, thin waist get us to the point where we miss out on some of the things that we shouldn't be taking on in our lives. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
I think too, guys, some guys partner up with anything
Oh yeah.
for the sake of being partnered up. And I have plenty of those conversations about, okay, well, what is it about this person? I don't know. I mean, you just like, It's crazy how they just people like being in relationships. They like being taken care of. They like having a house that they can go to at night and being a part of something, even if it's not a real something.
And that's what it is. You said when you ask people, what is it about this person? I was sure she cooked me some chicken one good time, and I done been able to lay over there, whoop the whoop.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
then, yeah, she's cooking and she cleaning, but she toxic. Or he's giving you money here and money there, and he seems like he's a provider, but he's toxic. Sometimes we look only for the good things inside of the things that we miss the bad things. Like there are some things, and I know we talk about the list. I have a realistic list that I need, and it's more of an emotional thing than it is a monetary thing or, what you can give to me. Like, people talk about they want to provide and protect her, but providing and protecting is not monetary. Like I need, can you pray for me? Can you, if we're going through some things, can I come to you, or am I the only person over here warring for this thing? And so when you get a situation where you see, oh, he paid for my light bill, he bought me some hair. I ain't even got no hair, so that don't even matter to me. So he bought me some hair, and he got me some crab legs, and then he over there saying, yeah, man, she cooked me some chicken and macaroni, and but she got all this other stuff, and he has all of this other baggage, and now you carrying the Erykah Badu, what was it? Bag lady.
Listen, you didn't tiptoed into my next question.
Okay, then let me stop.
You done tiptoed into my next question. And the next question is for both of y'all.
Okay.
How do you handle baggage? Yours and your potential partners? Because I feel like we all come with our baggage.
Whether we know it or not.
Yeah.
It's there.
If you've been watching us for a while, we talk about trauma. You done heard trauma a lot. You done heard all these things. So we come with our own baggage. How do you handle baggage? Both your baggage, and don't look at me like that. she
looking like
burning me with eyes.
ask me this one.
How do you handle baggage, your partner's baggage and your own baggage?
Okay, so for me, this is something that I'm still working on. So we on this journey. This is something I'm still on the journey of figuring out. One thing that I've had to do is therapy. And not making it my partner's responsibility to heal me with that baggage, that trauma that I have. So that's how I'm handling my own baggage. Handling my partners, I think that I need them, if they're willing to be transparent about the baggage that they bring, it's a lot easier to work through it together. But also they need to be doing the work themselves because it's not, we both cannot be putting it on each other's responsibility to heal each other. Like we have to be doing the individual work as well. Ashley?
Tika, that's enough.
Let me pass that on over. For me, my own baggage, she said she was going, she's on the journey and the healing journey and all that great stuff. That was one of the things for me. Number one, I am a person that handles my stuff myself. I don't want nobody really in my business unless it's my core group. Because, and this is a character flaw maybe, I don't need you to ever be able to come back and say, you did a thing, or you be out here telling my stuff and, all of those things. So if I get to a place, especially if I'm with a person and I've decided to share anything with you, if you ever bring it back up, it's over for me. So I tend to not share my baggage. I take care of my own stuff. Whether it's a struggle with a bill or because I've had some of those moments, whether it's, trying to figure out something with my kid or just, life be life. And I'm a Virgo, and we tend to go in hiding until things are okay and we back. And so as far as, and being a Virgo, and I know some people don't believe in astrology, but some of those things are true. And being a Virgo, I am a worrier, and then I also take on other people's stuff. And that's one of the things that my friends have talked to me about is it's not my responsibility. And so in that, now people who have known me back in the day, and then I'm giving out this, I don't want to do that. I pray for you. or if I see it's gonna be too much for me, and I got to carry your bag more than you want to carry yours, and I need you to go handle that. There's a guy. He may or may not see this. I don't know. One of the things that I said to him in him trying to court me was, you might need to go do some self-reflecting. Because there were some things that was going on, and I'm like, hey, I don't like that. You're having these moments, and I think you need to go and, maybe do some self-reflecting. And the reason why I said this, sometimes people don't ever, some of our friends are not good friends. Our friends don't ever tell us.
Or call us on our stuff.
That
ain't my testimony.
Mine either. I've had some crying moments with my friend. Like, okay, so you just want me to let them do that to me?
Well, we be saying, hang up on you.
I call it my BS meter, and my phone hangs up. But sometimes when you've been in a thing for so long and nobody ever told you that you was a messed up individual in this area, you think that you've done everything right. And so then when you get into something, especially, let's just say, for instance, you've been with somebody and then you're not with anyone and they never told you, I don't like that. You need to work on that. And so just as women need healing and counseling, our brothers need healing and counseling. And when you get to a point where somebody is saying to you, hey, you might need to go check on that, and you say, I don't need nobody to tell me how I should feel, that's a red flag for me. So I can't help you with your baggage now.
Yeah.
Whereas I would, grab one side, you grab one side, and we going to try to do this together. But if you don't want to do the necessary things for you in order for it to work for us, there's nothing I can do, because that means you gonna want me to pick it up out, and I can't do that. I got it makes my heart heavy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I am a fixer by nature.
Me too.
If my friends call me, hey, I'm stranded on the side of the world, I could be at work. I'm on the phone trying to call somebody else in my clique. Hey, my homegirl on the side of the road, do you think you can go help? So that's what I do. But I'm getting to a point where I need you to help me help you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't want to meet me halfway, and just holler at me when you ready.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry the baggage. If that at the end of the day, I don't want to carry it solely by myself. I want to let me help you.
Yeah.
If you go ahead.
Do you think that was an easy thing to become aware of, that you might have like a tendency to help a little bit more than you want to? And then realize that, okay, I'm carrying this thing at this point.
You said, was that an easy awareness for me?
Was it easy for you to become aware that might be a tendency of yours?
Girl.
Or did you kind of learn it on the back end?
Did I know that I overextended myself? Yes. It was only until I got beat up and bruised up by my friends, metaphorically, that I was just like, okay, you got to change this. Like, it would be to the point where I am trying to attend 9 events, come over here and help. One of my friends, my bestie, my big sister, she would call me and she was like, do you have anything to do on tomorrow? And I'd be like, well, I got to do this and I got to do this. And she was like, it's okay to say no, right? And so it took me a while, only in more recent years, that I have gotten to the point where I don't want to do that. And COVID helped me with this. Because I didn't have to lie anymore that I didn't want to. I was trying to find lies.
You couldn't.
Here it is, people. I lied. I was trying to find lies to get out of doing things that I just simply could have said no. And I'm getting better at it. Some people don't like it because I've never said no. Even my daughter. She like, what? It's unreasonable. Well, yeah, it took me a while. And I like it.
It's liberating.
It is. That's what I was just about to say.
Oh my goodness, it's liberating.
Like Pastor said, it's like the most powerful word you can say is
And
It's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence.
Yeah.
It's no. And like I was talking about earlier, you try to sugarcoat it, be like, well, no, because of this, that. And, I really would if I could. But just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
I had a situation yesterday with the organization that we're both in. I won't promote on here. And you
No.
either had to come and volunteer or you had to pay your money.
No.
And that was the best. Like, I didn't want to pay the money, but that was the best $50 I ever spent in my life because I just didn't feel like doing it.
Let me
Like,
give you a better one.
I don't want to go.
I told them I wasn't paying this. How about that? And I wasn't volunteering.
Yeah.
You know what? It felt so great. I could put that $50 in my tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
I want to
You're
promote
right.
my own self. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like I could have went, I could have got up, I could have gone, but I was like, I just need a day in my house. Like, I just need to be at home and I just need to get my house together. I feel myself getting off focus and my house looks like it and I just need some time. And I was like, I'm not coming. And I made the decision like that late that night that I didn't even, cause see, normal me, I would be like, oh my God, well, what they were
don't
planning on
go,
me
then
being there and this probably
gonna
gonna
do
mess
it?
up the counting. I was like, go buy out link, I won't be there. You know, the old me would be so concerned about how it was going to be inconvenient for them, but
Everybody else.
I didn't care. Like, I needed it and I felt so good. Like, I didn't even finish doing everything I wanted to do in my house, but just what I did get done. And watching my show. I watched Sweet Magnolias all day. Like, I just needed a day. And
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel guilty? Because this was something that I felt in my previous relationships. I would feel guilty about sitting down, not moving around, not folding clothes, not doing laundry, not just.
in this season,
She's shaking her head. Yes. Like, I feel like I was gonna be chastised because I wasn't up moving around, and I wasn't in an abusive relationship or anything.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was not allowed the same grace that everybody. Like I was saying, I want to twiddle my fingers.
listen.
You won't be. I started to call and vent about that, or text and vent about that, because I had that exact thing happen last night. I think that sometimes when you're in partnerships, and not just even in marriage, but
Right.
if you like, anytime you go into that living together,
Yes.
women take on a lot of the
Domestic.
load. Yeah, a lot of the emotional load. Like, you have to remember so much and be aware of so much. And I was saying, like, I never get to come into my house and the laundry has been done. And, you know, the house is clean. And even if something small got clean, like if somebody sprayed down the shower, it's like, I sprayed down the shower like you said.
Yeah.
Or folded this house that's been sitting in there
Sir,
all week.
I work like you work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the same things that you do.
Yeah.
I don't know why the expectation is that I do the cleaning, and if you clean something, you've helped me out.
This is where I think the adjustment has I think there's an adjustment that has to take place. There's a shift that has to be take place, and I think it needs to be said and it needs to be addressed. So back then, the women did not work.
Yeah.
They didn't. They were not full-time workers. They weren't going to school. They weren't operating multiple businesses. They weren't doing all these things. Their sole focus was to take care of their home. And that meant them husbands, the kids, like, that was their sole focus. Well, then things began to change.
Right.
They had to.
And women began to go to work. And so now, brother, I've been at work at the same amount of time
Same
as
amount
you.
of time.
Longer.
And also,
Yeah.
I started
I feel
working
like
in the
just
house.
because if we're sitting at a
Yes,
desk,
that one right there. I started working. I've been
In the
working
house.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I started working at the house first.
yeah.
Because I got to be the first one to get up in the morning.
in the last one,
And then the last one to go to sleep. So my hours are quite longer than yours.
Oh, let me give you a better one. If you want some love, and I got to do that to you too. I got to be attentive.
Y'all like in my business.
And do you want me to be participant? You want a class participant, or do you just want me to lay that? Nah, you can't just lay. Oh well, hey,
I gotta participate.
yeah.
And look, Ashley, now I'm up.
Now you
Yeah.
up.
Now I'm up.
Yeah.
And I can't go back
and I
to
can't go back to sleep.
But I think it needs to, like, society needs to catch up with that.
They
Yeah.
do.
And that's why on here we promote get the home cleaner.
Right.
Take the stuff to the cleaners. You know, get you a if you need to do a Tide subscription, get you some help, sister.
My
Get you
sister's a
some
cleaner.
help, sister,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
cannot do it all on your own. Like whereas women used to could do all the things, do
Yeah.
all the laundry, keep the house clean, cook the meals, get the kids from here to there to where they used to could do it.
We can't.
Yeah.
You were
yeah.
saying
It's
something
different.
about they think because we sit down.
Yes, I've been told a lot
You
that
don't do nothing.
yeah, like oh, you just sitting at a desk, like that mental exhaustion.
Come on.
It's
It's
way,
heavy.
it's heavy.
Okay, but can we talk about, I know you have been in this before, people, and not necessarily my spouse, I would say that, it's not him, but other people thinking because you're self-employed, that you have more freedom. Like, well, you set your own schedule, you self-employed, I've been at work. The difference
Y'all
between me and
24/7.
you is when you got
It
off work
is.
at
Yeah.
5 o'clock, I
Your
never
work was
stopped.
done. That
You
I-
left your
yeah.
job at your desk and you got in your car and you went home. Like mine never cuts off. It's coming home with me. It's gonna be in the shower with me. It's gonna be there
in
while
your
I'm cooking.
dreams.
Yes.
Right.
Well, see, a lot of times, sometimes people don't even accept the fact that your business is actual business.
Yeah.
If you
not a
have
hobby.
what is deemed as a 9 to 5, and then you have a small business or larger business, it may not be a franchise, but they feel like that's a hustle. And I had to tell somebody, I don't want to hustle. I'm not a
Right.
hustler. This is something that I am doing. This is a business that I am running.
Right.
And so whether it's on the higher end or the lower end, this is a business that I am doing. I sell jewelry. I do event coordinating. I also getting ready to launch something else. And so styling, just all of these things, that's not a hustle for me.
Right.
Like if it gets to the point where it takes me off of my 9 to 5, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not in the mode of a hustle.
Right.
But just because you don't view my business as a lucrative business, that doesn't mean that
It's not a business.
It's not a business.
Right.
And so what people tend to do is look at, she do that on the side. That really ain't nothing. And so while you go to your 9 to 5 and then you come home and you still have to work your other business.
Yeah.
And so not only that though, the outside people do that, but even the people that
Family and friends.
Yeah.
your family friends, but the people that you lay next to as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't see that, because this is what I told somebody when I said something about making sacrifices, and they asked me what sacrifice do I make. I'm like, shoot, when you turn the light on, I made sure the bill was paid. Whether you gave the money for that or not,
Yeah.
I paid it. When you go and open up the refrigerator and there's food in there, unless you went to the grocery store, and normally they ain't going to the grocery store, they going to get a bag of chips here and a soda there. That's
Or
another
if
story.
you send them to the grocery store, they're going to call you 15 times.
With a list.
Yeah.
Okay, we ain't gonna do them like that today
Yeah.
though.
We done had
If I send you to get some, when you go in the bathroom and you get that tissue paper,
Right.
I put that in there. And so sometimes people don't even realize what it is that you do until you hand it. I had to hand it over one time. Here you go. Holla at me. And then once they figured out exactly what it is, they handed it back quickly.
Yeah.
But sometimes it
Now we
helps.
playing hot potato.
What that is that's giving them an opportunity to live a day. I'm gonna say a day, because sometimes they don't make it a day, but a day in your shoes to see what it is that you actually do.
Yeah.
We make it look easy.
Yeah. We ain't got no choice.
We make it, and sometimes our children, they do the same thing. I know my daughter think like, "Hey, mama, I need to such and such." My phone always going off with, "I need you to order this. And I finally said, do you think I'm just sitting at the house waiting for you to send me something to do? I get tired too. And I told her one day, I would like to come in here and just lay up in my bed and talk on the phone to my friends and watch out of the movies that I want to watch and eat up my mama candy and chips and bubble gums and all of that.
watch the Netflix shows the same day they come out.
Yeah. I would like to not have to play catch up. So I don't think that people really realize that. Just like you said, back in the day, we were able to do that. Sit at home and have the meals cooked for you and all of that stuff. If you can cook, get in there and cook.
Right.
Or even if you can't, pick up something.
Yeah.
Have that there. you ever notice when you walk in the house? I only got one. You got two.
A stepdaughter and
2-year-old. You have
I got
children?
one.
Okay, but you ever notice that when you walk in the house that nobody's hungry until you get there?
What we gonna eat?
Yeah.
What have you been doing? And it could be 7:00 in the evening. What were you doing before I got here? I used to sit in my car for about 30 minutes.
I still do that.
And I do. And I remember my ex asking me, do you hate coming home? And I said, no, why do you say that? I mean, you sit in your car. And I said, I've been doing this forever. Now, he worked on the road. I said, I've been doing this forever. You weren't here, so you really didn't notice. I said, but this is the only time where I get where it's all about me because I go from work to work. Not that my household is just like, I don't like, not that I don't like being in there, but it's just like, this is my time.
It's my me time.
And sometimes I'm not doing anything, and I might have my feet out the window, my socks out, unless somebody come by and I need to put it away. But I got my feet out, and I'm listening to music, or I'm just in complete silence. And this is my only time where I am not by. My daughter may come to the door, and she be looking, and she like, oh, okay. And as soon as I hit that door, I'm back to work. And so sometimes we need those times because people don't understand that we be doing a lot.
Yeah.
We be doing a lot.
Yes, and we make it look easy.
We do.
Ooh.
Definitely. So I had to go back home this weekend, and so I had to pass the potato to my son's father. And just simple stuff as what time to wake him up in the morning, what time y'all need to leave the house by so that he's not tardy, what time you need to be in the pickup line to pick him up. Okay, his bag is packed, this and that. It's just like I'm
Make
type
sure
A.
he eats breakfast at home because he gonna want to.
Because he gonna want it at school too.
Yeah.
Like, but he doesn't see that day to day. So passing that is just like they think it's so easy. Making sure that he went to bed on time the night before so that he can get up and not be tired and fall asleep in class. Oh, make sure he studied them words because they got a test every Friday, vocabulary and spelling, but just all that they don't see and they don't know. And so I had to that's just me, my personality. But I wrote it down on I wrote it out on my dry erase board. This time, Carson go to bed. This time, Carson wake up. Leave the house this time so Carson can eat breakfast at school. All that they don't see, all that goes into what we do as mothers and
we
as
just
women
do it
in the
with
household.
such grace.
Sometimes you want to let the lights get turned off so they can know that, oh, you wanted me to do that?
Yeah.
You forgot I do that too, huh? Yeah, well, the money is there. Oh, I didn't know. Those type of things. You making sure everything. And when I say everything. And sometimes it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
Like, even when you say, I appreciate you, sometimes appreciating is not appreciated. Like your mouth says one thing,
It's an action
but
word.
your action says something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an action word. This is good.
I know, just from talking about baggage, we get here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how much of that shows up in dating as baggage too? Like taking on whatever the person that you're dating, what all their stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said some stuff, Ashley, I wanted to touch on, but we have to touch on it
Next
next time.
part two.
Okay,
Part
good.
two.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
This is good.
this has been good. And I didn't even hit the surface of all my questions. No.
There's more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we gotta do a part two.
Yeah, for sure. But this has been good. And so we're gonna give them a part two.
Okay.
So we can keep the questions going. Because I think the people need to hear this. And you're bringing a male from a male and female perspective. We have some male viewers, but yeah, predominantly female.
But they need to hear what the men are saying.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times we won't even take time to listen to the man talk.
yeah. We got to find a male that'll come sit in his hot seat
Listen.
and won't sweat out his shirt.
But women need to hear
Come to the lion's den.
what I mean. And you can't be sensitive
Yeah,
because they listen to everything we got to say. They take it. Whether we hollering, we whispering, we texting, they listen to what we say. But as soon as a man talk and he say the wrong thing that you don't like, I just can't. I see it in comments when I'm on Facebook.
Yep.
Like a man can't even have his. If he say he don't like a woman with short hair, And all of the short, not me, but because he'll get to like me and he'll like the hair, but that's another story. But they'll instantly go in, well, we got to like this and we got to like our bald head. That's not what they're saying. This is just his preference.
Yeah.
Why is it that they have to accept everything from us, but we don't got to accept nothing from them?
Ooh.
So I'm just saying.
Well, I'll say.
I like that.
This has been good.
It has.
And we're gonna leave it open for part 2. But thank you for coming to sit with us.
Thank y'all for
today.
having me. This has been exciting. I was nervous.
Was you?
Ooh, baby.
Well, you'll be ready for part 2.
Yeah.
Then.
I
We don't want. This was the warm up.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely.
But until next time, we want to always thank you all for joining us and watching and viewing, and encourage you to like and share, comment, give us your questions, send us your feedback, especially you guys. We know y'all be sneaking and watching.
They do.
Sneaking and watching. Make it known. Leave us some comments. Tell us how you feel. If you agree, you disagree. If you feel like we missing something, let us know. But until next time, I'm Breonna.
I'm Meketia.
And I'm Tanisha.
And this is the Whole Journey Podcast.